following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And here we are. It's a Victory Monday edition of Mick Shots, and Mickey is so happy. I can just sense it. Mickey is so happy because next week he can pick the Cowboys to win a game, as the Cowboys have won back-to-back games for the first time in a season and a half, basically. What a victorious Monday it is there inside the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star in Frisco, Texas. Everson and Mickey, how y'all doing?
I'm doing very well, and I'm so glad to see Spagnola trying to smile. It's like I can see it cracking, you know, the jaws. I can see it cracking as that Grinch smile comes across his face.
That's right.
So happy to see that. The sun is shining brighter today just because the Cowboys have won not one, but two in a row.
Mickey, do you have a friend there in the SWBC
I do. I have my buddy here. Yeah. You guys all have partners at your houses with your dogs, so I figured I'd bring in my little partner here. I'll try to keep him from clapping, though, and interrupting the show.
What's his name? What's his name?
We need to name it. We need to name it. What about it? So we call him Cowboy?
No, Chris already named it. I want to hear. I love Chris's name.
What did he have?
That's the Mickey Monkey.
The Mickey Monkey, right?
That's a great name. The Mickey Monkey. Come on, man.
Joe. He was going to be Cowboy Joe.
No, man. No,
you know the old
Monkey.
character they had for the first for their first logo, Cowboy Joe.
Did he look like that?
Not quite. He didn't have symbols.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
This is the Christmas Cowboy Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is the Mickey Monkey, guys. I'm sorry, Chris. Chris, you are the best.
Bill's got his Christmas decorations behind him, so I figured I needed something, you know?
I do.
That's good.
All right.
Well, my wife's mad at me because we couldn't put up Christmas decorations because I haven't finished the ceiling yet. So there's still that problem over here.
Haven't got the popcorn off the ceiling.
You're still
popcorn still on the ceiling.
You're still
I can
in
see
time
it.
out, right?
I'm still in. Yeah, I got a talking to the other day. It was pretty humbling.
So, Mickey, what is the significance of the monkey?
It was a Christmas monkey. I had it sitting around the house, and I said, short of bringing in flowers, I thought I'd bring in the little dude and set him up here and create some joy and happiness for Christmas coming up this week.
I thought maybe it was in honor.
Bill, hey, Bill, if I start seeing a clothesline behind Spagnola with some clothes, you know, I know there's more of a problem than Spagnola is addressing, okay? That I do realize.
That's right.
So don't get too comfortable in there, Spags. We're starting to worry about you.
You know what? I think we need to work on your product placement, however, Mickey, because you're covering up the SWBC mortgage sign behind the monkey.
Well, I needed workspace.
We needed to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it was in honor of Dez scoring his first touchdown in 3 years.
There, how about that?
Yeah.
I was so happy for Dez. Man, you talk about a guy that, I mean, just to be out there on the field and to be playing ball again. You know, when you mess up your Achilles tendon, guys, at over 30 years old, if I'm not mistaken, he was hovering around 30 at that time. That's pretty good. That accomplishment, he should be so proud of himself. I'm sure he's going to have a good Christmas. I don't know about hoping they make the playoffs, but for his sake, I hope that things go well for him in Baltimore because you know how emotional Dez is, guys. When he couldn't play against the Cowboys, he's ready to quit. you know, and I get it because he's so impulsive in everything that he does. But he did well for the Cowboys, so I can't help but still wish him well in Baltimore.
Well, I'll tell you what,
including
he's my
the time
incentive.
that he had a pet monkey once upon a time.
That's right.
Right?
He's my incentive to keep working, too, and rehabbing, by the way.
That's right.
There
you
you
guys
go.
are Achilles associates. There you go.
That's right.
All right, let's not
And
bury the lead here.
Oh, the lead is that Mickey can pick the Cowboys to beat the Eagles on Sunday because the Cowboys have back-to-back wins for the first time in 22 games. How about them Cowboys, Mickey?
How about them Cowboys?
And they did it just in
Yes,
time, because
sir.
if they hadn't won that game, I had to pick them to lose the last two, right? Even if they won both of them.
That's right.
And oh, what a victory it was, right? It's like I was sitting there trying to figure out how I was going to write this thing up, and it was like, well, how about that defense? The one that took the ball away 4 times, or the one that gave up 458 yards of offense, and after all they had done, they were within an onside kick, only up 7 from San Francisco coming down and tying the game up. Go figure.
It
We're
turns
not
out
gonna
they
count
would have
that
tied the
onside
game up
kick.
because they can.
We're not counting the onside kick. It never works unless you're playing against Atlanta. So let's just be real about that. We had the game in control even at the time of the onside kick. But yes, Spags, to see how that quarterback Mullen hung in there. I mean, he hung in there from some decent pressure from the Cowboys defensive line that seems to be improving every day. I'm not going to go pat them on the back yet, but when it's all said and done, they were pretty consistent in what they had to do. And I would not, if we would have lost the game, then it wouldn't have been on the defensive line's heads, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, all
Mullins
I know
had
is
to fight for his life for every pass that he completed, I thought. And he did a decent job at that. We made him do a decent job at it.
They did throw for 319 yards. They did run for 150 yards once again. And as I said,
that's all?
At the time of the onside kick, the Cowboys were only up 7 points, by the way.
Yeah, onside kicks don't work. They don't work. That's the only reason I wasn't worried, Spags, because
they don't work.
That onside kick didn't work.
It was like
they don't work.
Starting to look a lot like the Cowboys. That's all I got to say.
I'm just glad that, and I'm serious. I am serious. I love the way, the defensive line hung in there. As I watched the games, I watched some of it today, and what I saw was, I'm sorry, did Bill have something to say?
He said, okay.
Well, I was going to let y'all know, you two keep talking because I'm having a hard time hearing you. I think I'm having some Wi-Fi issues, so you may lose me for a second. You two keep carry on.
What I saw, Spags, was a defensive line. I can see that as much as I'm upset at the linebackers, when that defensive line plays well, there's just a big difference in how our secondary reacts to certain things. You saw Mullins, he had to eyeball his wide receivers most of the time because the D-line was at least in the vicinity. And I mean more than just in the vicinity. They were close enough to where they were harassing him enough to where, of course, D. Lawrence got the hit on his arm. And you had Donovan Wilson coming through and anticipating where that throw was going because, once again, he had to eyeball his receivers. That was a heck of an interception by Wilson. I thought the pass was still there. To me, it was one of those 50-50 balls to where I thought Wilson jumped it quicker, and he wanted that ball more than the tight end wanted it. That's one of the things that having a rush against your quarterback, that's the luxury that it gives you in the secondary. They can't see the DBs where they are. They can see the receivers, but you don't know where the other danger spots are. So, those kind of things you try to build on, and it's just like Minnesota, Spags. We give up a lot, but we still win the game. And let's just be real. That's our MO. That's going to be our MO for the next 2 or 3 games.
Well, and once again, they needed to score 30-some points to be able to win the game.
Yeah.
And that's now 5 wins. In all 5, they've scored 30 points. And if you go back to last year, the 8 games they won, they all scored at least 30 points. So their last 13 wins, they've had to score 30 or more points. Not necessarily to win, but they did score that many in those victories. So it was better. I thought they did confuse Mullins some. And I get it. The last, 50 yards they got were off the Hail Mary at the end of the game. But, gosh, they just can't play the run. We talked about it last week, and we talked about San Francisco using a fullback, and they're going to use that fullback. And not only did they use the fullback, there were at times they had a fullback, a tailback, and 2 tight ends in the game. And here comes the Cowboys with their nickel defense and get run right over. I don't get it. I need an explanation.
Hey, first of all, hold up, Bill. He doesn't have the luxury to be upset because I was upset Friday and you laughed in my face.
That's right.
So I feel your pain, but it's like we got to see. I think the coaches are using this COVID thing as an excuse not to be accountable to reporters because someone should be in their faces over and over again demanding that we play. I think it's Joe Thomas or some other linebacker, and now we're down Van Der Esch, if I'm not mistaken. So,
and
while
Thomas,
we have them, I think we need to play them.
In the game. Did you notice that? He was in on the nickel defense.
I did notice that.
And they were lining him up on the line.
But only because Van Der Esch went down.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, why don't you do that again? The other solution that they had to their run-heavy offense was to put 5 defensive linemen out there. Okay, now you got everybody spread out, but once the edge isn't held, you don't have enough linebackers close to the line of scrimmage to stop the guy. Once he beats that last defensive end, it's Katie bar the door, gone.
Well, what I see that Mike Nolan is doing when we find ourselves in that type of matchup, so to speak, he likes to just bring an extra guy when it comes to the run. I think he likes to bring that extra defensive back as a run blitzer, not a pass blitzer, but a run blitzer. And there are times when you see Thompson or one of the other safeties knifing down on that RPO play. So you got to be careful when we play Philly because as much as you knife down to go get that running back, now you've got Jalen Hurts who can pull it out of his stomach and take a run around the end. So that's going to be challenged even more this coming weekend.
But they did get 4 takeaways.
We'll get into that. Yep. They did get 4 takeaways.
That's how we have to play. That's how we have to play, guys.
We talked about it last week. So that's now 7 takeaways in 2 games, right? Going into this game, I think all they had was 11 over these last 2 games, before these last 2 games. And the other thing they did is they scored points after the takeaways.
Yes.
And I think I pointed out last
Extremely
week
important.
what the 11 takeaways they had. They only had turned 11 takeaways into 28 points. Now they've turned 7 takeaways into 41 points in the last 2 games. And that's the significant part about at least giving your offense short fields. They don't have to drive 75, 80 yards every time to score a touchdown. And I think we saw the difference. It was a lot easier. Even though they struggled running the football, even though they struggled trying to protect Andy Dalton, especially when San Francisco decided, well, heck, we're just blitzing. And how many blitzes did you see off the slot, right? And it's like somebody ought to maybe pick that guy up. It might help out. But they did somehow, some way score 41 points, a season high this year.
And as a former player, Spags, you weren't there in 1981, but you came a little bit later. You remember how we were running around chasing our own tails in that secondary as well behind the flex defense. But we were able to get those turnovers, and that's always made the difference. You're going to give up big plays when you're in man-to-man. That has never been my complaint about our defensive backs. My point is you've got to get yours. You can't sit back every time and just react to what they're doing. We were good as Thurman Thieves in anticipating at times what the offense wanted to do. And you talked about scoring off of those turnovers. Cowboys were always good at that back in the 80s. And that's what I talk about, Spags, when we talk about situational football. Okay, what do we do? What do we have in our bag of tricks, in our game plan for a short field after we get the momentum from an interception or a turnover? Those kind of things are talked about in good meetings with good coaches. Those are anticipated. Okay, what's going to happen if we get an interception or a turnover in the end zone and we have a must-score touchdown situation? What do we have as part of that package? The Cowboys seem to have that together offensively. And to me, that's just good coaching, to be prepared for that. Don't be surprised when you get in the red zone and say, oh, man, but what do we do now? No, these guys did a good job yesterday, minus a couple of jet sweeps or whatever that crap they tried with Cooper. Besides all of that, I mean, we were pretty solid. We were as far as the calls were concerned and as far as our responsibilities.
Oh, man, I'm glad you brought that up, Everson. my wife and I were watching the game, and I can't remember exactly. It was early fourth quarter, whatever time it was.
Yeah, it was early fourth quarter.
Game. And I said to her, well, things have been going all right, but it's about now. It was tied at 24-all. It's about now we're going to run a fake punt here in a second. About that time, they read the end around to Amari Cooper and lost 12 yards.
12 yards, deep in our own territory. That's when you try it.
All right, and then, but that set up the double pass. And
that's right. It was a setup.
And believe it or not, they have that in their bag of tricks.
So then I'm sitting there going, so there was the end around, there was the double pass. It was set up for the fake punt. The fake punt had to come.
Oh no! I'm so glad.
But it shows how much discipline they now have. As much as they had the urge to go ahead and go with the fake punt there, tied at 24, they kicked it away, and sure enough, it worked out all right for them.
And you know what?
On that 14 days
on that double pass, I don't know if you could see it on TV. He had the guy on a post pattern about 30 or 40 yards downfield, and he chose not to throw it. He threw it back across the field. He had.
So you're saying
they did point that
for
out.
The second time, Cedric Wilson is not spotting the wide open receivers 50 yards downfield.
Well, the first time
they did point that out.
The first time he didn't even look downfield. He just tucked it and said, "I'm running with the ball. I'm not throwing it."
Hey guys, let's not put too much on this plate. All right. Let's just let him do what he's got to do, because next thing you know, we got a safety or something like that. So I'm just glad we were able to get out of the end, out of the back of the end zone, back of our territory, and we were able to at least get close. When you look at that double pass, Bill, kind of a big play, because if we don't make that, then we're punting from even deeper in our own territory. So I was just glad to see us get that close.
But there's a reason probably that Cedric Wilson doesn't play quarterback anymore in his career. That he's a receiver.
That's why
now
he's a
and
wide
not a
receiver.
quarterback.
Hey, I know
we insist on using him as a quarterback.
We got to go to break, but we should give a game ball to Kellen Moore, because I think you guys are right. He had to figure out how to get the ball on the perimeter, because they could not run the ball a lick in this game, and they weren't going to run
I called it.
And he got the ball.
Yes, sir. But Spags, where are you, buddy? What's up?
It just got
that means we really need to take a break.
Better take a break, Bill.
That means it's really break time.
I think we had a power outage.
All right, let's take a break, and we will be back in a moment on Mick Shots, or at least a couple of us will be back in a moment.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for hanging with the boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play. Cream Soda and Dr. Pepper time. Pour it in a glass of ice.
Ah, music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda.
A delicious duet.
Back to Mick Shots.
You can now support your beloved Cowboys from anywhere. Open up AT&T's Fan Zone feature inside the Cowboys app and record your personal cheer and referee signals. You'll receive a personalized mosaic and may show up on the AT&T Live FX video board during the game. And the lights are back on for Mickey Spagnola. What happened, Mickey? Did you have a power outage? What was going on there?
I think there was not enough motion in here. I got to get Mickey Monkey or Monkey Mickey, whatever you want to call him, start playing his cymbals. We need some motion. That hadn't happened all season.
Man. The bills got to be paid. Jerry must have forgotten.
Yeah, I thought maybe they didn't want us talking about the play calling anymore or something. So
that
we
it was so good. We were actually being very positive.
Yeah.
That's right. However, having said that, you said that the Cowboys weren't able to run the ball between the tackles. Is that what you were saying?
It's exactly what I was saying, because before
But wait, Zeke didn't play.
Yeah, I know.
I thought Zeke was the problem.
Do you realize until that?
You guys are so messy.
Hey,
you guys are so messy.
Let
me just say that before you continue.
That were 6 yards and 40 yards. They had run the ball 10 times for 23 yards. And it was Zeke's fault, right? He can't run.
That's right.
He's slow. Doesn't see the holes.
Yeah.
He's washed up.
He has no
ain't
explosion.
worth the money.
That's right. Yeah. But to your point.
Well, I told you guys just how it was going to happen, because we know how tough that San Francisco defensive line is. The linebackers, to me, are very talented. You can see that in the ball game. Flying all over the place. And, boy, they were just getting on my nerves. But what you saw was, as we talked about, the offensive coordinator's ability to be creative. And even on Friday, we talked about, that's why that was my pick to click. Thank you very much. My pick to click. And I talked about Pollard because we are going to get him out in space. That's the only way you can be effective against moving the ball against this 49ers defense. You have to get him in space. You saw that Richard Sherman was not able to handle not only Pollard, but any tight ends or wide receivers coming out of the backfield. When you get two guys in space, the one that's more determined is going to win. And you could tell that Pollard is one of those guys that's hard to handle, even as hard to handle as a wide receiver once you get him out there and it's a one-on-one situation. So we took advantage of that several times in the ball game.
There was sometimes
so those
it was
6 catches for 63 yards were big.
A lot of times it was one on nobody. They didn't even bother to go out in the flat with the guy. And I'm glad you mentioned Richard Sherman, because until I saw him get beat on something, I didn't think he was on the field. It's like, is Richard Sherman hurt? Is he out there? He don't want to tackle either, by the way.
No, he don't want to tackle no more. He did when he was in Seattle. He was a little younger.
But he ain't
Trust me, I've been
anymore.
that age. I've been that cornerback. And, hey, sometimes you have to make that business decision.
You know what, Mickey? I didn't even notice Richard Sherman until after the game when he was fraternizing with the Cowboy players after the game.
Don't use that word, Bill. That is a bad word with the Cowboys. Please don't say that.
You know, when they hit the Hail Mary at the end of the game, I was thinking, oh no, if it was a close game, it would have been the catch too.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Well, and who kept it? Who kept it from being the catch too?
I did not even think about that.
Yeah, but Mickey,
yes.
remember my pick on Friday? Who kept it from being the catch too? It was C.D. Lamb.
And he was
Gotta
also
give you credit on that.
And he was also reason there was a catch, because all he had to do was take a knee at the 1 yard line.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you brought that up, Mickey. Mickey, I am glad you brought that up, because there are some old fogey coaches who will say, just don't return that. Game's over if you just field it and fall on it, okay? But 20 years from now, would we remember that C.D. Lamb fielded an onside kick and just fell on it? We wouldn't remember that 20 days from now, much less 20 years from now, but we will remember C.D. Lamb taking that ball to the house on the onside kick return.
I would have done the same thing, Bill.
And do you remember the last Cowboy player to do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me have it.
Randall Williams.
Yes, absolutely. And
Randall Williams. See, and that's been 20 years.
His was only 37 yards.
And that's my point. 20 years later, that's the one thing we remember from Randall Williams' career. Now we will remember a lot more.
Exactly one and only thing. You are so right, Bill.
That's right.
Great point, sir.
We will remember a lot from C.D. Lamb. We will remember a lot from C.D. Lamb's career, but that is also one of the things we will remember is him returning the onside kick.
But Bill, one thing we also remember is you can't keep picking C.D. Lamb for your pick to click, man.
That's true.
Okay, you gotta change it up, man. I mean, you pick the same guy, but you'll change up the scenario. That's not slick.
That's true.
You're trying to be slick. You can't. You gotta give me somebody else.
Okay.
Spags has gone all around the world. I've gone all around the world. I even got away from the secondary last week. You wouldn't even get away from that one person. Come on, man.
Okay, let me go to another one then. All right, how did you like the play call of Kellen Moore putting the tight end in motion on 3rd and 1, the tight end, Blake Bell, in motion, and then he gets under center, and we've got the NFL version of the Belldozer for a first down. How about that? All right, here's the other part of that, though. I was like, I just saw that in a game. I mean, here this weekend, someplace I saw that, and it's the first time I've seen it. It's the first time I've seen it in all my years of watching football, the tight end coming, and then he lines up. And then it dawned on me, it was the Alabama game on Saturday night. They did the exact same thing in the Alabama-Florida game on Saturday night. And so my question is, was Kellen Moore or whoever sitting there watching the Alabama game on Saturday night, and they said, you know what, that's a pretty good idea. I got the Belldozer back here. Why don't we do that? Did they install it that late, or was it already in their arsenal? That's what I want to know.
I would imagine they didn't draw that up in the locker room before the game.
First of all, we've got Travis Kelce did it the other night.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all saw that. Travis Kelce did it the other night. Yeah.
All right.
And
so maybe it was.
We saw. I think it was the. Was it the Minnesota tight end that was just doing every? Or was it? No, I'm sorry. The Washington team, Washington football team. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he line
Logan
up
Thomas
against us?
Yeah,
I thought he lined up in shotgun.
But he's lined up in shotgun.
I thought he was
through
in
that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
in shotgun.
It wasn't the way that we arrived at it was more creative than the previous people that we spoke of. Because we motioned into it. We were the only ones to motion into it.
Right. That was my point on it. He motioned into it.
Okay.
And so did Kelsey line up under center, or was he in shotgun?
I think he did. I think he lined up shotgun, but I think he came up under center.
All right. Because the tricky thing on that, if you don't have quarterbacking experience.
Yeah, the key thing is you better be able to take a snap.
Yes, right. So that's where,
not even quarterbacks can do that these days.
And even though Blake Bell was in shotgun a lot at Oklahoma, he was also under center a lot because at that time they were under center a lot also at OU. So it would have been a safe play from that standpoint.
He wasn't that big at Oklahoma, was he?
Oh, he's huge. Yeah.
In fact, that's what was he that big? Because he's my God.
He was a 5-star quarterback recruit out of Wichita, Kansas, and he was not. You're right. He wasn't that good as a quarterback, but he had the athletic ability and so forth. And what he became at OU was a running quarterback, basically. And his last year, then they converted him to tight end. But he was highly recruited as a 5-star quarterback out of Wichita, Kansas, out of high school. So
they almost needed
him. And he had some moments.
They almost needed those former Oklahoma guys on Saturday.
Well, the other part of it, though, even for Bell, is even after he converted to tight end, they got into an injury situation when they played Oklahoma State, one of his last college games. He came in at quarterback and threw the game-winning touchdown pass in that game. And so, I mean, he's got good enough ability, but he was never going to be an NFL quarterback, obviously. But as a tight end, he's cobbled together a nice career as a tight end in this league. And I think he's doing a good job with the Cowboys here as a second tight end with his blocking and stuff.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, Mickey, where you want to go next? Where
I was gonna leave you.
We're up against it.
I was gonna leave you with this thought about. I think it was the first time I got a chance to watch a complete game with Ohio State. I'm not sure I get Justin Fields, by the way, but you could take it to break on that.
Okay, since you brought that up,
yes.
And we don't have time to talk about it, and it's not a college football playoff show, but how does a team that's played 6 games, 4 fewer games than the other competitors, get into the college football playoff? I will just leave you with that as we go to there you go, Mickey, as we go to break here on Mick Shots.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play Cream Soda and Dr. Pepper time. Pour it in a glass of ice.
Music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda.
A delicious duet.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Mick Shots.
Find out why this year's Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, something's missing here, making the team is the most competitive yet. Don't miss the new episode of Season 15 every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central on CMT. Find out why
He said something's missing.
Wait, it says find out why this year's Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
No, Mickey, I'm reading the script. Here. I got the same script you've got.
So what am I missing?
What it is, the name of the show, it's written on there, Dallas. The name of the show is Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, making the team. Okay? So
no,
that's the name of the show.
The team is the most competitive yet.
No. Here's what it says. Find out why this year's Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders making the team is the most competitive yet.
Well, why
Don't
is there
miss
a
new
semicolon
episodes
after
of season 15?
There's a colon
every
after
Tuesday night at
cheerleaders.
9 o'clock Central on CMT. The reason is because the name of the show. The name of the show.
The semicolons in the topic.
Yeah, the name of the show is Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, making the team, okay?
Right.
That's the name of the show.
That's the name of the show. Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, find out why this year's quote-unquote making the team is the most competitive yet.
Yeah, the show's the most competitive yet.
Yes.
Not the cheerleaders, the show.
Something like that. Well, the show is
the
on
cheerleaders
the
on the show are going to be more competitive than they've ever been. That's what they're saying. I mean, I only know this because I saw the previews on TV, so I mean, I'm trying to help you out here, buddy. That's all I'm doing.
Right. Well, there shouldn't be.
I don't have the paper in front of me, but I just watch TV.
There shouldn't be a colon there then.
Well, it's part of the title.
But
it's part of the title.
What it needs, Mickey, it needs quotation marks around the name of the show.
Hey, it would be like no. Here it is. It would be like Mick Shots, this time he's going to show up. You know, like that. That's kind of
right.
But this has got a verb after making the team. It doesn't stop there. It keeps going.
It would be like this. It would be like this. Let's say, Mickey, you were going to tell a story about Notre Dame football. And then I would tease it by saying, find out why today's Mick Shots. You can't wait to hear this story about Notre Dame football. Will be the most interesting story Mickey has ever told.
He stretched that one on out. Wow. You stretched that one on out, Bill.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one either. Yeah.
So you got any stories about Notre Dame football?
So to pull back the curtain in the break, we were talking about why Notre Dame made it, right? Well, for some reason, my father, a good Catholic man, did not like Notre Dame because he thought they always got preferential treatment. No matter what they did, he couldn't stand them. And so,
what school did he like?
Oh, LSU, right?
LSU. Okay, go ahead.
And so you guys might not remember this, but I don't remember the year. I want to say it was in the 60s sometime. Notre Dame and Michigan State basically were playing, and the winner was going to win the national championship game. It might have been it was during Aaron Parsege's time, so 64.
Like 66.
Yeah, no, that's a classic game.
Right, the classic game.
That's a classic game.
Basically, Notre Dame pulled back on the last drive and didn't try to win it. They decided they'd settle for a tie. So,
10-10 tie.
So that night, we go to the confession at the church, and my dad knows the priests, right? He's in the confession box, and he's giving them grief about Notre Dame, right? And he comes out, and he starts telling the story, and my mother's looking at him. She goes, "You didn't say that to a priest, did you?" And my dad goes, "Well, what's the big deal? He's just a human being like me." And my mother immediately grabs the rosary and starts praying.
What's your dad's name? What was your dad's name?
Dominic.
So that was Dominic Shots. That was the first Dominic Shots.
That's right.
That was the first
we started long
hybrid
ago,
Mick
50
Shots.
years, 60 years
long
ago
in the confession booth. In the confession booth, Dominic Shots, baby.
Yeah, they went from Nick Shots to Mick Shots.
Man, there you go, baby. Oh, that's a good one, Bill. Nick Shots to Mick Shots. Good job, Bill. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good job.
By the way, we have this. The bowl season has begun. I'm sitting here watching the University of North Texas is playing in the Myrtle Beach Bowl with 50 seconds left in the first quarter. It's Appalachian State 14, North Texas nothing. That's the latest.
Hey, before you go on from
season.
My son sent me a video of a wide receiver at the University of North Texas. Yes, sir. Man, that kid is a stud.
He is. He's got Jalen Darden. Okay, so we just converted this into Cowboys draft talk here. Okay, good job, Emerson.
No. Last night already. We don't need him.
Well, yeah. I mean, and he's smallish. He's more. Although he could play outside, he's slot receiver size. But he has 19 touchdown catches this season in just 9 games.
He's amazing.
The problem is he opted out of this bowl game. North Texas does not have his services today, and he probably signed with an agent. He declared after their last game, and so he's not playing.
I'm sure that's what happened. People have been doing that in the Power 5 conferences for the last few years. He has that right to do that, and I think he's going to be. Well, he's up for Biletnikoff Award, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He's going to be good. He's going to be.
Hey, by the way, the Cowboys.
Fourth in the.
Go ahead.
We got one more point, Everson, when you get finished here with Mick Shots. Turn on this Myrtle Beach Bowl game, and for all of you who think that the Cowboys might want to look at a cornerback in the draft, check out the 2 cornerbacks for Appalachian State. They project as mid-round type selections as it stands right now. But anyway, go ahead, Mickey.
Oh, no, I was going to say we probably should point out the injury report, because the Cowboys paid a high price for this victory, it seemed like. We knew Zeke didn't play, right? And I understand not only was that calf bruised, but it was also strained, and so this may take longer to come back than we thought. The Cowboys in the game lose Antoine Woods with a left ankle sprain. They lost Leighton Vander Esch with a right ankle sprain. He was supposed to get an MRI today. He says nothing's broken, but you can suffer a high ankle sprain, and that could be 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah. They lost Xavier Woods with a rib injury, and then Michael Gallup with a hip injury, meaning Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson were getting more snaps, as did Justin Hamilton and Eli Ankou at the tackle position in place of Antoine Woods. So I don't know. We'll get Mike McCarthy's conference calls at 5 today, so maybe we get an update. And they were already, as I said, without Zeke, without Rashad Robinson, without Savion Smith. Although Tyler Biadasz ended up getting 8 snaps on special teams. So that bodes well that he's coming along. And Olo Nalua, 25 special team snaps in his first NFL appearance, called up from the practice squad.
All right, the illegal formation on him. Did you go back and look at that?
I couldn't see anything weird.
I didn't either.
I didn't see anything. I backed it up during the timeout, and I was like, "What did he? How is he lined up wrong? He was on the right side on the end,
right?
I thought maybe they confused the number. So I just looked at the entire formation, and everything looked copacetic.
I mean, it wasn't like he was way off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was backed up too far, like he was in the backfield. And he did, on the second punt, he did look like he inched up a little bit. But looking at the first one, he did not appear to be out of line as far as being lined up wrong.
Chris thinks they called the wrong number. They think it was Bernard Francis or Francis Bernard. I can't get that one straight. Sorry.
Hey, and Bill, let me say this. We are no longer in need of a cornerback because Anthony Brown made a decision yesterday to become a football player. He did such a good job yesterday. I mean, the anticipation, the wherewithal, the hands. I mean, to see him do that, if I were to look at that film and I saw him make that play, I would say this guy probably does that all the time. I would definitely say that because he looks so good doing it. So proud of him. I called his name wrong, of course. Of course, I called him Noah Brown on Twitter, and I was quickly corrected, and I thanked him for that. But no, I mean, it ain't easy to do that, okay? But it ain't that hard either, guys. Sometimes you just have to have your eyes back at the quarterback. All you need is that bit of pressure, just to get in the quarterback's face, and you anticipate the routes. And you don't just anticipate your routes by guessing. You anticipate the routes that they're running because you studied film all week. I'm sure that's not the first time they've seen these routes. And for Anthony Brown to make that play, don't tease me, man. Don't tease me.
Hey.
Because you look like you should be doing that all year long.
So two things on that play. When I went back and looked at it, they didn't line up a receiver to his side. So he was free, right? They had the receivers to their offense's right side, the Cowboys' left side. And number two, afterwards, when he did his conference call, he basically pointed out he saw the route earlier in the game and he recognized the formation, and he said, I knew exactly what they were going to get ready to do. And so he jumped that slant across the middle. But he didn't have anybody to cover because he was free on that side and made a really smart play.
Even when you look at the Donovan Wilson interception, he was able to just organically flow into that situation because he recognized he was not being threatened by any other receiver. There's one thing to do your job. There's another thing to anticipate how you can help your team. Yesterday, the secondary finally was able to do that. And once again, I put that on the constant, persistent pressure by the D-line. They weren't back there all the time. It was sometimes when Mullen had all day. But when we needed it, they dialed it up. And before we go, I know we got to take a break. DeMarcus Lawrence is playing some ball, guys. He's earning his money. And on a consistent basis, he's earned it all year long. I want to hurry up and say that before we go off the air.
And on that note, we're going to applaud this show.
Hey, there you go, Mickey Monkey. I love that Mickey Monkey.
And we'll talk more about DeMarcus Lawrence as the week goes on because it's going to be an interesting week as the Dallas defense prepares for Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles this week. All right, we've got plenty more Mick Shots throughout the week. In fact, we'll be here each day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Looks like we'll take Christmas Day off. Everyone gets Christmas Day off, but we're here through Christmas Eve at 1:30 on Mick Shots. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Go Cowboys! How about them Cowboys?
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!